Boca Raton Championship Wrestling here in South Florida. Great night of action at the studio Mizner Park. This was an unbelievable match with this man, Fulton. He was against Noah Kakoa, and you guys were just not only fighting inside the building, you were fighting all over Mizner Park and Boca Raton. What was that, just that whole experience, that whole match? It was really something that was incredible to see. The fans were into it.
They said falls count anywhere in Boca, and we're going to take that literally. We're going to go all over Boca. BRCW, if we're going to do something, we're going to do it big. This was a really cool match to be a part of. Just the structure of it all, and getting all the pieces put together, and the crowd reaction to everything we were doing was just amazing. I wish the outcome of the match was a bit better for my end.
But you had like 4, 5, 50 on 1. I mean, that was what happened there.
That table, going through that table was not the greatest thing to ever happen to me in my life, but I'm here, I'm going to survive, I'm going to go home to my physical therapist wife, and she's going to put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Yeah, that was incredible. With Cesar, who's huge, and Noah's huge, you're a big man, and they just took you and just lifted you up through the table, and then Neil the heel with the brass knucks, getting rid of the referee, and he comes out. It was just a whole crazy ending. I'm sure revenge is on your mind.
I'm not used to people being able to manhandle me at my size or weight. And it's, you almost have to give it to them. You almost have to give it to them. I hate it. I hate that it was, I mean, I would have done the same thing if I was in their positions, let's be honest. I wanted to put him through a table just as much as he wanted to put me, but they got it. That doesn't mean what this is over. And I think what they're about to bring out of me is not going to be something anybody here at BRCW wants to see unleashed.
And that's in November. They're going to be going back to the VIP ballroom in Boca. And it was interesting because during that match, you guys took a car. I'm not going to say stole a car. Someone took a car, and then you end up at a house. And it was funny because we see this real estate sign with this guy Jacob on it.
Yeah, who's this jabroni? Who'd he ever be?
But it's just curious because real estate, what a business it is. And I know now you have that background in real estate. And I'm curious how you got involved with real estate.
Matthew Maschler, the guy who runs BRCW, we've been friends for a long time. Ever since my time in WWE. He would come to a lot of the NXT shows. I didn't even really know who he was besides a fan, and we became kind of close friends. And when I started wrestling here at BRCW for him, I'm starting to realize that my body only has so many more table bumps like that before it just completely disintegrates. So why not try to build something and make something new? Why not hustle while the hustle's good? And I asked him if that was something I would be good at, and he said, get your license, and I'll hire you, and we'll set you through it. And it's a process. It's definitely a whole new world compared to what professional wrestling is, but at the same time, it's very much the same. I've spent so much time on professional wrestling. It's kind of nice and refreshing to be building something new.
And when you talk about just getting your license and all, so how different was it from getting your pro wrestling license per se compared to getting your real estate license?
Man, it's a lot less grueling, I'll tell you that. It's a lot easier on the body to get your real estate license, I'll tell you that. I don't know. The drive to become a professional wrestler and to get to the point where I am comes from my dreams and my hopes. It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do with my life. Spreading the love of professional wrestling is what God put me on earth to do. And the passion for real estate comes from wanting to be there, to provide for my family, to build upon what my wife and I are creating. And I know my days as a wrestler are numbered, and this is just, it's something that I feel I can transition into that I'll be very good at. There's a lot of similarities, and a lot of it is being yourself and showing off and getting to know people. And if there's one thing I know, it's getting to know a crowd.
Fulton, what if the people that have been wanting to look at houses and things like that, when they see Fulton there, helping them with the house.
Man,
It's hard to say no to you, is one I would think.
don't say no or I'll get you out there. I'm actually hurt.
Oh.
You know, I realized right away I'm never going to be able to hide who I am. My dreads are well over 2 feet long. I haven't cut my hair in 9 years. I am covered fingertips to shoulders in tattoos. I have a big old scar right across my face underneath my eye. I'm 6'8", 277 pounds. It's never gonna hide. I can't do it. So instead of that, I want to lean into it. You're gonna meet 1,000 realtors a month, but you're gonna meet one professional wrestler, and you're gonna remember that.
And for you, you said about pro wrestling. How did you get your start? If you give the short version, and was it in Ohio?
It was in Ohio.
Fulton, let me tell you something. So many, I don't know if you ever thought of this, so many pro wrestlers who've made a high level on TV and all, such yourself, have been from Ohio.
I didn't say them. Even when I was in NXT, actually, we have a picture of myself, Sami Callihan, Angela Dawkins, Alexa Bliss, and well, now Ash by Elegance, doing the OHIO for one of the Ohio State games. But yeah, I was going to college at Ashland University. It was a D2 school.
Football?
Wrestling.
Oh, wrestling, yeah.
I love wrestling. I started wrestling because I thought it was the same thing. And so I made it all the way, I was a 2-time state placer in Ohio. I made it into college. And my freshman year, I was really fighting to get the start, barely got the start at the end of the year, didn't do so hot. My sophomore year, I went 16-16 as the starter. And I thought, well, you know, I suck at this. I might as well go for what the goal has always been, become a professional wrestler. And I found a school called the ASWA, headed up by the Living Nightmare Jimmy Lee, and originally started by Charlie Fulton. You know, that's actually where the name comes from. And I started training there, and I trained all summer, and I just worked at it. And I had my first match October 16th of 2010, right? Yes, 2010. And then I had to go back to college wrestling. I couldn't do both at the same time because of NCAA rules. And then that year in college, I went 37-4 and
wow.
4th in the nation. And all of a sudden, I realized that pro wrestling is a benefit to what I'm doing. I'm putting so much extra work in. And I trained all that next summer. Did some more matches, really low stuff. I got hooked up with guys like Rhino and Matt Hawaii, who really helped me get my career going in the Midwest. And then my senior year, I ended up taking 3rd in the nation, and who was there to watch me do it but Jerry Briscoe offered me my WWE tryout.
Jerry noted, him and Jack, brother Jack, top-notch college wrestlers, and Jerry would always go to the NCAA tournaments, Division I, Division II, and check out and see if he could find some people. I'm sure did you have the good size back then too?
Oh yeah, I was all of 280 pounds. I was pale as can be, bleached blonde hair. And when I won this, so when I was going out to the match, I look up in the stands, I always try to look for my mom. She went to every single college wrestling match I ever had. And I look up and I see my mom sitting next to Jerry Briscoe. And of course, I know who he is, but she has no idea who he is. And I'm just like, holy shit, like, please don't say anything fucking embarrassing, Mom. Like, please, please. And she messaged me, as I'm walking the thing, she messaged me on the phone. She's like, there's some guy from the WWE here? I'm like, no. And I ended up beating that kid by 1 point. And as soon as I won, as soon as that match was wrapped up, I turned right towards Jerry while I was still on the mat, started giving him some Hogan poses, letting him know who I was. I hugged my coaches. That's the last match of my career. I hugged my coaches, I hugged my mom. I walked over to Jerry, just completely drained. He says, you know who I am? Yes, sir. He's like, do you know what I want? I'm like, God, I hope so. He's like, all right, why don't you come find me? Well, here's my card, why don't you come find me at the hotel? We'll talk after this, go get a shower. And we talked, and he offered me my tryout, and he said, by the way, I hire amateur wrestlers, not pro wrestlers. Don't tell them you have a background. So when I went to my tryout, they had me try out like I had no idea what I was doing in pro wrestling. And then when I just magically got everything the first time they told me, you know, it almost got suspicious. Like Bill DeMott was like, "Have you got training anywhere?" I'm like, "Yeah, I went in to Charlie Fulton school when I found out." So you know, so I was prepared. He's like, "Yeah, good kid." But secretly, I've been wrestling for 2 years at this point. So you know. What are they going to do? They already fired me. What are they going to fire me again?
That is so cool. And it's just an interesting process because when was it eye-opening for you? Because you said you didn't know pro wrestling really was different from amateur wrestling.
Well, okay, so like I kind of learned that it was through the process, especially the more I got into learning about professional wrestling and showing my age here, the more the internet developed and started letting out secrets like that. Man, like I remember the first fight I ever got in school was in 6th grade because a kid told me wrestling was fake and I got so mad I punched him. So it did take me a little bit to put it together. But when I started wrestling when I was 9 because I thought eventually you would get to the ring. And kind of that's how it worked. It took me 16 years, but it kind of worked.
Wow. And Fulton, it's interesting because with what MMA is today, do you think back then you would have tried that as well if it was today? Or not, or you don't know? Because you had such the amateur wrestling background.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. Do I think I would be good at MMA? Maybe. But that's not where my heart lies. Pro wrestling is all I've ever wanted to do. And it's like, I literally papers from kindergarten say, what do you want to be when you grow up? It says professional wrestler. I have no idea who the hell I was watching in kindergarten. It's in my blood. It's the one thing, like, it's literally like God, my wife, professional wrestling, in that order. And
we'll wrap it up with this. Have you sold a house yet?
I have. I've had, October will be 1 year with my license. I've completed 2 transactions so far. I know. 75% of realtors didn't sell a house last year, so I'm better than 75% of y'all.
You're catching up to Matt. You're catching up to Matt.
Easy. Yeah. But I know it's a process, and I know it's a lot of grinding. But you know, I've been grinding my whole life. All working hard is what I do best, and if that's what it's going to take to become a successful realtor, then that's what I'm going to do.
And lastly, for you, do you have any advice for Pokemon fans?
Oh no! You had to pull out the Pokemon.
See that? I did some homework.
A little bit of homework. I am a huge Pokemon nerd. I really enjoy it.
You didn't throw away any good cards, did you? Did you throw away any good cards?
I normally carry cards in the back of my phone in my phone case. And I recently had what I believed was a knockoff holographic Charizard in there. And it was in a cover, but it was just in my phone case. And I just thought it was some knockoff because I got it for cheap, years ago. On my whole collection is like in a big frame on my wall. And I was walking around and one of the guys spotted it who does trade cards and he froze and literally stole my phone. He's like, dude, what are you doing? No! Protected that card for me. But no, yeah, I don't know about advice, but I am completely jazzed. They just dropped a new design for Mega Halucha. It looks sick. They're having a Pokemon theme. Actually, Nintendo, the company, is sponsoring a show from CMLL in Mexico. That's all Pokemon based around Mega Halucha coming out. And as soon as I saw them announce it, I immediately started messaging my contacts in CMLL trying to get on that show. But it got booked a long time ago, so they could all have perfectly made luchador Pokemon outfits, and I am insanely jealous.
There it is. He's worked all over. He's working for Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. We can go WWE, NXT, TNA Wrestling. He's worked with Eric Young, one of my favorites. Thank you very much. So, Fulton, thank you so much. Keep up with the real estate. Keep up with the wrestling.
Thank you so much for having me.